Try the Crabbuccino.
Yeah, right.
How many years? 14 years. 14.
Hey, Mike. Edwards home tonight. My name is Michael Scott.
I didn't know you were married. I didn't know that.
Welcome, everybody. Can you believe this? After 5 years of dating and 14-month engagement, we are finally here. Yay. On behalf of Bob and myself, we want to welcome our family and our great friends to celebrate this joyous occasion with us tonight. We're so thankful. We want each and every one of you to know that each and every one of you have a special place in our heart, and we couldn't be happier that you're all here to share this with us. And to Margaret and David for opening up your beautiful home and allowing us to bring everyone in here, and it couldn't be more spectacular. Thank you so much. And to Chef Michael and his Master Chef team, what can I say? How fabulous is this food? And we're so thankful tomorrow night. The same team will be preparing a wonderful dinner tomorrow night, so you're in store for a great event. Most of my life, after I married Bob, I became anonymous. I was either introduced as the pro's wife or Chris's mom, and I couldn't be happier tonight to be Chris's mom. I want to say to Chris, you're my greatest accomplishment in life. And to Leslie, you're the daughter that we never had, and we welcome you to our family, and we couldn't be happier for the Wall Elliott to be one big happy family. It's a great day. I feel like it's Christmas Eve, and tomorrow Santa comes, and I'm so excited I can hardly stand it. So now I'm going to turn it over to Bob, and we want everybody to feel free. If you have a toast or any impromptu story about Chris and Leslie, the mic is open. So here's Bob.
Hector, we need more
Let me bring out Michael Scott and the Master Chefs who put on a fabulous dinner tonight. You want to introduce your team?
Again, we're going to have a great weekend. This was fun. We were all excited about being here for your day.
Usually I talk really, really loud. I don't know why I get in a funk like that. I get all talking quietly and stuff. I usually do. Let me say it again. Our privilege cooking for you folks tonight. We enjoyed all of you, and Dave and I. Dave is the president of our society. He is the executive chef at the Brook Hollow Country Club. Got members here from Brook Hollow? They're gonna. And my members are going, you need to get that sweet potato biscuit on the menu, Mike. And that's one of the best things about this society is every day I cook with these chefs, I learn. And it is a very special group. We've been together, this chapter of these chefs have been together for over 30 years. I've been a member for 15 years. Cooking with these people make me a better chef, and hopefully I bring those great things back to Northwood for you folks. And that's what it's all about for us. This is Dave Sokol, our president of our society and chef. Michelle Brown is our pastry chef for the team. The team is actually just we brought out her treats here, getting ready to go to Luxembourg to the World Cup in a couple months for that prelim to the Olympics in 2015. Salvatore Giuselli, if you guys, anyone here been to Urban Crust in Plano? Salvatore owns the restaurant, 3-level pizzeria in Plano. Next to him, Sean Daniels. Sean Daniels cooked with us, has been my roommate in a couple different countries. And we've been cooking a while together, Sean and I. This gentleman actually worked at Northwood with me. He actually is the man that runs Tori's Pizza Oven and Catering operation. He was with me for a couple years, James. And a brand new member that was just inducted 3 weeks ago, or what was it? It was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, a couple weeks ago. Pete Nolasco, who also was your banquet chef for a short stint at the Northwood Club and owns Pete's Catering, Ice Carving Extraordinaire. Pete Nolasco. And then back here, I want to bring them out. These are two of my apprentices that came from Northwood tonight. If you guys would come out. This is the guy from the Titanic. No, this is Andrew. Andrew just came aboard with me, and this is the one I've taken on as my apprentice. And Rodney has just been about a half a minute on my payroll. Rodney, both graduates at Le Cordon Bleu, and they're helping us out tonight. So thank you all. Appreciate everything. Congratulations, Bob.
Thank you, Michael, Chef Michael, and to the master chefs. Dave, thank you guys. Yep, you bet. Look forward to tomorrow night. You can imagine what tomorrow night will bring. I want to, of course, welcome everybody, but also I would like to introduce the Elliott family to you, starting off with my mother, Melba Elliott, from Austin. Mom, great to have you up. My sister, Jan, and her husband, Steve Filch. He's watching the game because they're from San Antonio. Go Mavs! Go Mavs!
Go Spurs, go!
Oh, boy, here we go. And my youngest sister, Joni Elliott. Joni. Thank you, also from Austin. So, and I'd also like tonight to welcome the Wall family. We have Gary and Kathy Wall. Thank you all so much. We have had some great times at this started 5 years ago, as Betty said. We've been celebrating some times at some special holidays, and I look forward to creating some more memories and continuing those special holidays. So, welcome to y'all. And to my future daughter-in-law, Leslie Wall. Well, you are, as Betty said, you are the daughter that Betty and I didn't have. We had Chris instead. But we welcome you to our family. Open arms. What a great, this girl here, Chris, she makes you a lot better. Okay, I'm not gonna read this whole thing because I cannot read this whole thing. This is the note that Leslie wrote Betty and I, and I'm just going to read one little part of it. And if I get through this little part of it without crying, I'm doing damn good. You raised him to love me without all that he has, because he's loved with unconditional love from you, as I am excited about making a new and joyful memories as I start a new life with Chris. Leslie, welcome, welcome, welcome to our family. And to my son, Chris. Mom and I could not be more proud of you. I need to probably tell just a little story about him. There'll be others told later. This one is true. A lot of y'all didn't know Chris when he was real young. He was pretty shy. He must have got that from Betty, I guess. But at about age 9, he decided to take up golf. Thank God. Finally. And so we had a little family talk, and Betty and I said, look, that's great. Be happy to help you out. But remember, where you're going to be playing at is where Dad works. So all we ask is that when you meet people, look them in the eye, say hello. You might not know their name, but at least say hello to them and don't do one of these like, hi. Okay? So it was about 2 weeks later, and we're out playing 9 holes, and we're on number 3. And over on number 4 is, some of y'all know Bob and Pat Smith. Okay, well, they're playing 4, we're coming down 3. And here's Chris going, hey, Mr. and Miss Smith, how y'all doing today? How y'all doing? You know? So I think Northwood kind of brought Chris out of his shell, you might say. And again, we are so proud of him. And again, I think he has become one of Northwood's greatest assets. Basically, Northwood has kind of raised Chris. You guys out here have had a hand in raising Chris. His stymie games are kind of legendary that he started. 20, 30 guys out there drinking, gambling. Wolf Hammer games that some of you participated in today. You know, again, drinking, gambling. And, of course, the Swish game, which is also a drinking and gambling game. And if y'all don't see a little trend here, then, you know, you got to look around a little bit because you are the guys and girls that raised him. So how does that make y'all feel? Huh? That's what y'all taught my son. All right. Again, and the thing that we're kind of most proud of is, and all of y'all have been a part of this too, is his famous Masters, U.S. Open, PGA Championship pools that we had over, I think at the Masters, over 300 entries into that pool. So everybody, again, part of that, and I don't know, maybe when he went out to the 4 years at Pepperdine, that must have been where he got his writing skills, because he didn't get them from Betty and I want to tell you. But I think that will take him a long ways in any endeavor that he wishes to choose. We are blessed to have my son Chris married tomorrow, this lovely girl, Leslie Wall. Mom and I could not be more proud. And all I'd say right now is a toast. First toast of the evening. Hold on. Oops. I'm not sure if this is mine or Betty's or somebody else's, but a toast to Chris and Leslie. Yeah! Gary, I believe I'm going to turn this over to you for the second toast. Y'all give Gary a warm welcome. Gary?
Hey, tonight this has been just a really special evening, and what I'm going to do tonight is not give a toast from me. What I've got is I've got a toast or a challenge, not from me, but from two people who are not here, and that's my parents. This is a challenge, and everybody here that knows how Chris and Leslie are, do the math real quick. My parents recently celebrated their 73rd anniversary, and they're working on 74. So that is the challenge, you guys. And, you know, we love you, and just thank you. And, you know, no speeches tonight, but anyway, thanks.
Before I turn it over to the toast, I did forget one thing, okay? Mom, I'm sorry, Hiram, my dad, couldn't be here with us. But all I can tell you is that, Leslie, my dad would have loved your golf swing, is all I want to tell you. And he would have been needling Chris about, you know, I think that Leslie's going to win the club championship before you do. Okay, who's next?
I'm behaving. Okay. I had the distinct honor of being Leslie's godmother because her mom and I were roommates at Alabama when she was born. I met her at 2 months, and she is a precious girl, and I just met Chris tonight, so I got to say is, I'm watching you, buddy. It's a godmother's duty. We carry guns in Alabama, you know. I call Leslie. I think we IM Facebook, whatever we do now, and said, he better be good to you. And she said, oh, you're going to love him. He's so good to me. So I'm counting on that. I'm so happy about this because Kathy is just the very best friend I ever had, and I want to see a really special relationship here that goes through the years. So cheers to you.
I'm Kyle Harger. I'm a very good friend of Chris Elliott. We went to high school together, and glad to be here. Been looking forward to this for a very long time. Very excited, and very happy for you guys. Leslie, you've got a great guy. Chris, you've got a great gal. So excited about this. I'm going to tell a couple of stories real quick that Bob and Betty may or may not know, and stories that I feel kind of highlight some attributes that I think of when I think of Chris Elliott. And some attributes that I feel like Leslie should be grateful for as well. So the first story I'm going to tell is a story that I think highlights a characteristic that Chris is a very creative individual, which I think bodes well for Leslie. So we were in high school. Chris was the first one of my friends that drove. He has a May birthday, and so he was the first guy that had a car. And he picked us up one night. He said, hey, let's go TP a house. Let's go wrap someone's house. Whose house should we go TP? Well, we came up with our good friend Stephanie Stewart, who I believe Leslie knows. So we drive over there, and we start TPing the house, and there's some older gentlemen down the street that didn't approve of the fact that we were TPing the house. So they started yelling at us. Chris and me and my buddy started yelling back at them. They got fired up. We hopped in the car. They started following us, and we went on a high-speed chase throughout the neighborhood. Well, this went on for about 20 minutes, and after a while, Chris said, we're in the alley. He says, hey, I've got a great idea. I'm going to slam on the brakes. You're going to hop out and throw that trash can out into the middle of the alley, and it'll stop him. And so that's what I did. And it stopped him, and it worked. So he's creative. So I think that's going to bode well for you, Leslie. Another attribute I feel like Chris really exhibits is the ability to always know the right thing to say. So I went to visit him up in New York. There's a lot of his New York buddies up here, and he was working for Merrill Lynch. Yeah, shout out to New York. All right. So I went up to visit him, and it was kind of a process getting there. You fly in, you get in the cab, then you go to the subway. It was kind of a process. Well, I had an old suitcase that my dad had given me that was not in the best condition. I didn't realize how poor the condition it was until I actually got there. But I had to drag this thing throughout several turnstiles or carousels or whatever you call them in the subway. So by the time I got done and got to where I was supposed to get off, the front lid of the suitcase had just completely torn off. And so I come up the subway, I texted Chris, hey bud, I'm almost there. He said, meet me at the corner. So I walk up out of the subway, I'm holding the suitcase in my arms, and the lid is just dangling off. Well, Chris is there. He says, you ready, bud? Is his characteristic of Chris. And I said, man, I'm doing okay. He says, let's get you a cocktail, and let's get this going. He always knows the right thing to say. I was a little stressed out right now. Leslie, I think that's going to work in your favor at some point in the relationship. So let's see here. The last story. Well, let's see. I don't know. I've been thinking about this all day. But, Chris is also very resourceful. There's been several instances where he's really come through and found things that I don't think any of us would have been able to find. So one night he picks me up and he said, hey, we're going to go do something a little bit different tonight. And I said, okay, well, what's that? What are you thinking? I was like, we're going to go out to a field and, have a field party, or what are we going to do? He's like, well, just hold on. I'll get you. So we go down 75 and we hit 635. I'm like, where are we going? We lived up in Plano. So I'm like, where are we going? He says, I got you. So we get down to downtown, and I'm like, man, where is he taking me? So we pull up to the Magnolia Hotel, and I'm like, what are we doing at the Magnolia Hotel? So, well, this is, they don't ID here. This is one of the only hotels that doesn't ID. So he's resourceful. He knows places to go. So we got away with that a couple of times. Last story I'm going to tell, and then I'll get off the mic. We had a lot of parties at Bob and Betty's. Bob and Betty, I don't know if you knew that or not, but we did have an awful lot of parties over there. So, I mean, I was told nothing is off limits here. Well, there's certain things that are, but one thing I'll say about Chris is he's consistent. He's always been consistently a good friend. And he is just a consistent guy overall. He knows what he likes. He knows what he wants. And there was a certain Friday afternoon where it was a Wednesday afternoon, and he said, this weekend I want to throw a party at the house, but I want to do it a little bit differently. I said, okay, well, what do you think? And he's like, I want it to be we were seniors in high school at the time. He said, I want it to be a junior girls only party. No senior girls allowed. We're just inviting the junior girls. And I was like, well, I think that's a great idea. Why not? And so that's what we did. We threw a party and only junior girls were allowed. And the consistency is, Leslie, you're younger, and so he consistently likes younger girls. So, anyway, that's my last story. So, Chris, Leslie, I love you guys. Chris, you really have been an amazing friend. You really have. You've always been there. You've given me opportunities that I'd never have to go do things with you and make awesome memories, and I'm just very happy for you guys, and I hope everybody else enjoys the weekend.
Gary and Kathy Wall, it's been a pleasure getting to know you guys. I've gotten to know Leslie over the past few years. I've been very lucky in the sense of my age split is exactly between Chris and Bob. And so I've been in this unusual circumstance that having known the two of them, I'm equally as good friends with both. And I've grown up out at the club. Bob is one of my dear friends. I've gotten to know Chris when he was a little chubby kid playing soccer before he played golf. And we've played countless rounds together, spent a lot of time together personally, working on professional things, playing golf, and Cindy and we are just very excited for you all. I think that this is something that we have been hopeful for you for a long time. I know that when my wife moved down here, I would say, I want you to go, we're going to go have dinner with my golf pro and his wife. And she was like, well, this is weird because they're 15 years older than you and 20 years older than me. And the conclusion is that Bob and Betty are two of the highest quality people I've ever met in my life. They are friends and family to us. I've known them literally for 30 years, and I just can't express to you how happy we are for you. Leslie, you are marrying into the highest quality family, the best people you'll ever meet, and you've always got, in Cindy and me, two people you can always count on and rely on because we are friends and family to the Elliots. So congratulations. Cheers.
I'm not as well spoken as anybody else that's come up tonight, but I'll try. I don't have as long of a history as Lindsay, but I've tried to make the most of what I've had. Been at Northwood since 2002, and when I very first joined Northwood, Chris was getting out of high school, going to college. He was going to be a big guy. Went to Pepperdine and went out there, and probably my best memory, because I don't have many, but I've got a half brother, but I've never had a full brother, and I consider Chris to be a full brother and little brother to me. And it means a lot. It's a special evening. When Chris came to me after freshman year at Pepperdine, he said, "What does it take to get out on the street?" And he was talking about Wall Street. Thank God. The other street doesn't take very much. And I said, I don't know, Chris, what's your GPA? And he told me, and I said, well, that probably won't do it. So I'll make you a bet. For the next 3 years, if you can do X, Y, Z, I think you'll make it on the street. And I think everybody here that knows Mini Pro, as he is lovingly known, knows he's accomplished everything that my little speech gave, and he's done great. He's done better with Leslie, and all I can say is what a wonderful night. What a tribute to Bob, Betty, the family, Leslie's family. What a wonderful night, because you see somebody that grows up kind of before your eyes, and Lindsay's older than I am, not much. Bob's a lot older. He's a pro emeritus at Northwood Club. And congratulations to you both. Cheers to you both. Many happy memories. Hopefully we can be part of all of them, and everybody here. Cheers.
So I met Leslie when I moved here 4 years ago. So I'd like to say we were out volunteering and, building a house for Habitat for Humanity, but we were at a pool party at Zaza Hotel. And Leslie was, the classy lady drinking champagne and in the pool, but we couldn't get her hair wet. And I was not, and we'll leave it at that. So we became fast friends, and we're very different personality-wise. And the greatest thing about Leslie is that she has always embraced that and always just been the best friend you could ever want. And when I met Chris, that was the icing on the cake. I obviously knew that Leslie was the most patient human being, signing up for Chris as a boyfriend and me as a best friend. Chris and I have 2 speeds, turbo and lightning. And I will just say that having them as your first 2 friends moving to Dallas, you hit the jackpot. And like I said, they've been the best friends, both of them. I have a great friendship with Chris, and having Leslie as a best friend for the last 4 years has been, she's been, like I said, everything you would ever want in a best friend. And watching them, their unconditional love for each other has set such a great example for those of us that aren't married. We're still out there. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate the level of friends they are when things are great and when things aren't so great. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. And I can't wait to stand next to you tomorrow and watch you get married.
All right. So I'm here representing Chris Elliott. And it's a little interesting how we met. I mean, we're on the golf team together, but I failed speech class, so it's kind of funny. That's why he's laughing over there, because I'm up here giving the speech. But when I first met Chris, he was the last person I thought I'd be best friends with. But he came in looking like Harry Potter from Texas. I'm a Southern California guy. And Chris has turned out to be one of the best guys I know. I mean, now I live in Houston, which is in the South. What'd you say? Okay, anyways. And we made our annual ritual, the OU Texas game. They like to say the TU or whatever you get. TU, Oklahoma? What do you guys call it? Okay, so anyways, but Chris, when he came in, I just remember a little golf story. I'll be his golf team representative to give a speech. But Guy Burger, if anybody knows, little Johnny G. I remember sitting on the range at Calabasas Country Club. I was hacking it up as a freshman. I redshirted. And Chris is over there just striping it, little pro, And he's like, just put a token in him. He's just striping it. He's a little pro. And I was like, I hate this guy. He looks like Harry Potter. He's striping it. And then he has this beautiful girl now, and I'm so jealous, you know? It's just killing me. But anyways, yeah, a little hairy over there. But obviously the finance club has worked out for him, you know, at Pepperdine. And Boomer Sooner for all you, anyone that went to the Sugar Bowl this year, Boomer Sooner. But yeah, Chris has been my one teammate at Pepperdine that I have stuck through with. And we come up for the OU Texas game every year. He's an awesome guy. I still kick his ass in golf, and it's awesome. But no. But yeah, so I thought I'd be his one teammate to give a cheers. Boomer Sooner, go Waves. All right, someone can go do
First off, I just want to thank the Gilberts for opening your home for all of us tonight, and the Elliots. This is wonderful and amazing, so thank you. And the Walls tomorrow, I know, is going to be spectacular. I'm Leslie's, one of her best friends from high school, and if I cry, sorry. Leslie and I go way back. We know lots of stories, and I'm sure the Walls already know about all the trouble we got into, but I just wanted to say that Leslie, you know, there's friendships come and go, and Leslie's and I friendship has lasted a long time. And no matter what we went through, we could always call each other if we hadn't talked in months, or even more than months. We still could pick up the phone and talk like we had been together the last day. Anyways, I just wanted to say how happy I am. Chris, she's been through a lot of guys. No. I didn't mean that. I meant like we've been through a lot of boyfriends together. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. Okay. That's not how I intended for that to come out. Anyways, Chris, you came around and you totally changed her, and she is going to be an amazing wife and take care of you because she is that type of friend, and I know she's going to stand by your side forever and take care of you. So you better take care of her because I'm right here if you don't. So I have a quote that's one of my favorites that has just kind of been with me for a long time, and I wanted to share it. Sorry, hold on just a second. You gotta get it. Okay. As you sit side by side through the roller coaster of life, remember to scream from the peaks, hold hands through the dips, laugh through the loops and loops, and enjoy every twist and turn. For the ride is much better because you share it together. So, cheers, and I'm so happy, Chris, you're coming a part of the family.
Okay, I sat down to write Leslie a text message, and I ended up finding this. Closer, better. All right. Leslie and Chris, I am so very excited to be present for your marriage ceremony. It is and will be an exquisite journey into a new part of both of your lives. I know we all feel blessed to honor you, Leslie and Chris, as man and wife. I remember when Chris and Leslie first met each other, and the tiniest seed of love was first planted. Les and I talked about it all the next morning as she drove me home, and she already had a sparkle in her eye. To be able to see how that seed of love has blossomed and will continue to renew its beauty daily as Chris and Leslie, I'm gonna wait on that one, as Chris and Leslie Elliott renew their love for one another. It is my greatest wish and prayer. To the future Mr. and Mrs. Elliott.
Okay.
My sister and I'm the youngest sister, I'm Bob's younger sister, and my sister and I are in disagreement as to whether or not I should tell this story, which that's what sisters do. But I'm going to go ahead and tell it because my brother gave me permission. One of the other younger men said that Chris was very resourceful, and that reminded me of my son's wedding 13 years ago. And the wedding was winding down, and the bar was kind of closing, and Chris and my sister's daughter were underage. And I remember, well, I don't know that I remember this. I don't know where I was. I wasn't there. But the story came around, and Chris just needs to come clean on it. You and your cousin came back to the table where my father, Hiram Elliott, who's no longer with us, was sitting there. And of course, Chris was the golfer. He had high hopes for Chris, which, and Chris sat down. And are you remembering this, Chris? I'm sorry. I'm like my father. I have a tendency to tell stories very slowly. And my dad asked Chris and his younger cousin, "What are y'all drinking? Y'all aren't drinking margaritas, are you?" And they went, "No, this is lemonade." Do you remember that? Okay, were you drinking lemonade or not? This is your time to come. Okay, so we have a very honest groom here now. He's come clean on this, so I'm going to give you guys the thumbs up. And I hope your wedding is as beautiful as...
He forgot, he told his grandfather that they had run out of lemonade. Oh, that's how they drinking margaritas.
There was a lot to this story, but Chris was very resourceful in what he told his papa. It was a margarita, and he was not 21, way underage. So anyway, congratulations to you both.
Hi, I'm Jordan. How y'all doing? Actually, wasn't gonna do a toast, but decided to go ahead and do it. Mainly because I love both of these families. Wow, I'm already getting emotional. I love both of these families, starting with Leslie and Chris, so much that it's kind of hard for me to do this. Yes, I'm the one that introduced them. I mean, I don't want any credit, but just wanted to go ahead and put that out there. I'll go just right back, just real quick. Grew up with Elliot in Plano and Kyle, who spoke earlier. Chris was one of my first friends in Plano. I'd moved from Mesquite, actually. And, Chris is one of the best guys I ever met, but blah, blah, blah. And we ended up going, Kyle, Chris, and I, all three went to different schools. I went to Texas Tech. There's a lot of Texas Tech people here. That's how I met Leslie, but Kyle went to OU. Boomer. Yeah, Kyle went to OU. And then Elliot went to Pepperdine. We didn't grow apart, but we were always, there back and forth. I'll go ahead and move forward. I'm rambling already, but long story short, I thought Chris and Leslie were like a perfect fit. Their families are similar. They're both only child. They're both ridiculous golfers. I'm not a big golfer. I play baseball and football, so I don't really understand golf at all. And I just thought it'd be a good fit. So even in college, Leslie and I were always friends. We went through all kinds of stuff together, but we were like good friends. So I'd talk to Chris every once in a while. He'd call in, and somehow Leslie would get on the phone. They were talking, and Leslie would be teeing off, hitting cars in college or whatever. We'd be having a good time, and then Chris was like, "Who's this Leslie girl that you know? Like, what's the deal?" So finally, I introduced him, and just went off from there. So I just couldn't be more happy for both of them. I hope it works out. I think it's gonna work out. I'm kidding. It's definitely gonna work out. I have a dry sense of humor, but no, these two are perfect for each other. I actually matched them together, and it's gonna work out 100%. No, I guarantee it. Seriously, it's gonna work out. And I couldn't be more happy for both of them, and not in a cheesy way, like I'm being serious. Like, I love both of them. Like, I love both of them a lot. I love their families, Gary, Kathy, Bob, Betty. Betty used to make us awesome queso. She got us out of all kinds of problems in high school. Kyle hinted to it earlier. That's just a little bit of stuff that they did for us. Gary and Kathy have always been really cool. I've known them for a long time. They know me. I think they like me. Gary's pretty cool. So yeah, that's it. I'm really happy for y'all. I'm glad everybody's here, and I love y'all. Thank you.
First of all, thank you very much, Bob and Betty. It's an unbelievable night. Love you so much. It means a lot to me to have all these people here looking over everybody. Sorry. Yeah. We pull it together here, Jordan. Yeah. But no, honestly, thank you, Margaret and David Gilbert, for having us over here tonight. This is a gorgeous home. Beautiful atmosphere. It's great to see everybody here. We've got a number of people from out of town, which says a lot to Leslie and I. It's great to have these people here, all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast, and everybody that we've met in between. But Leslie, I love you. Thank you so much for being here for me. It's going to be a great night tomorrow night. So,
in behalf of Leslie, I would like to say, I love you too, Chris. That was so wonderful. I mean, I've never heard a groom get up and say that. That was so cool. He's the best. We'll take you.
No?
Okay.
I already spoke. I started this thing.
Okay.
Tomorrow, will you dance to You're Amazing? We have a family dance, and I invite everybody up. We love the Elliots for doing a beautiful party. I am absolutely humbled. And the Gilberts. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Gilbert, tonight. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Elliott. We love you. Oh, my God. We love them. And thank you so much. We are absolutely humbled for a beautiful evening. Thank you for showing the love and the support for these beautiful, beautiful Leslie and Chris. Thank you so much for everything you've done.